Hello.
Hey, long time no see.
I know. I love seeing your name in the waiting room. That's awesome. How have you been?
All right, things have been slow,
Yeah,
hitting, hitting a lot of roadblocks that wasn't we're hoping to not hit 6 months ago, but just keep fighting through.
I
So
get that.
yeah,
I get that. It's been a times are different right now. Times are different.
yeah, yeah.
Hi, Gary.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Ah,
Hello.
I'm
We'll
heading
give
outside.
a few minutes for, I like your staircase, Gary. It's very pretty.
It's uh it's an old eclectic house and it's kind of cool, but it's very eclectic.
I understand that deeply. Uh, all
Oh
right.
shoot. Ah,
Sorry for canceling last week for those of you who were signed up. I was very sick. I don't know with what. Better now, though. So, welcome. I guess we'll get started while we wait for others. We'll usually do intros, so who you are, where you're from, and what you do. And then once everybody's done that, we'll get into a discussion about some things. Who would like to get us started? Also, drop your links in the chat, and you might want to do that in a few minutes when there are more people here. 'Cause I don't think they'll be able to see it. So, anyway,
Yeah, well, I can start with that.
sure.
Hey guys, how are y'all? My name is John Michael Chadwick. Um, I grew up in the East Texas area. I'm still living down there. I'm not sure if you guys know of Mineola, Texas at all. It's kind of close to Lindale and Tyler, Texas. But yeah, I work for a company called 49 Financial. It's financial services, very new to being an entrepreneur. I graduated relatively year and a half ago, but always had that entrepreneurial mindset. And so, one thing I've always learned is it's always best to collab with other entrepreneurs, get their, take on things and their mindset. And it's super valuable for me. But yeah, I work for a Christian values financial planning firm, a very holistic approach where it's investments, estate planning, tax mitigation strategies, insurance, whether it's life and health or property and casualty, and a whole lot of things with, helping focusing on business owners because we're able to help with like employee benefits and a lot of other great things. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me. But personally, I'm engaged. I'm getting married in 2 months. So super exciting stuff. I always tell people I'm blessed because I'm getting to marry my best friend, and not a lot of people can say that. So it's been a journey, and just been uh, praying as much as I can during this season of life because it's just been going nuts. But yeah, that's a little bit about me, guys.
Welcome. Just adding a few more people here. Um, Most of you are returning. So John Michael just went first. Whoever would like to go next, just keep it rolling. Otherwise, I'll start calling on people.
Sure, I can go. My name is Gary Darley. I am in Washington State, and I also work in the financial space. I'm a financial coach, and I help people uncover opportunity cost. And I work with folks to set up a tiered saving system that ensures they have money in their now bucket while not sacrificing their tomorrow bucket.
That was short and sweet, Gary. I like it. From Washington State. Did I miss that part?
Yep, Washington
Okay.
State, but work with people all over the country.
Awesome. I was just getting our Discord link updated to share. Who would like to go next?
I'll go third just because I want to tie in with my fellow financial advisors. I'm also within the same field, so we're kind of all there, you guys. But my name is Marissa. I'm in California. I work in Yorba Linda, or my office is in Irvine. Relatively the same spiel, but I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, helping them kind of like protect their income, building clarity around like their financial burdens, building wealth outside of their businesses, just ensuring that people's finances are, in line. I'm very big on like business owners as well, just like self-employed individuals. I've got a lot of family members that are within the same trade, so I've got a little bit of expertise there. But really just here to connect with people, learn about what you guys are doing and just kind of connect and learn from people, and just build long-term relationships. So that's kind of me. I'm a mom of three boys. I'm married and I've got, we've got the house and just living that mom life. So I'm very much into like the family building as well and kind of planning for family futures and just trying to build those connections. Huge people person. So I'm glad to get to know all of you.
We're glad to have you. I have a semi-random question. Do you know what color green that is on the wall behind you?
Oh, I could find it for you.
Okay.
You get it at Lowe's. I don't remember the name
Okay.
of it, but I painted it myself. I'm big on DIY. So if anyone needs
Yeah.
I used to come from like the flooring home improvement industry. So I'm a big believer like why pay someone when you can just learn to do it yourself. Um, so I'll find it for you though, and I'll let you know.
Cool. Cool. Awesome. All right. Who's next?
I'll go next. Sure. Hopefully this isn't just a financial group. I happened to go onto Eventbrite. I was looking for some business networking. So yeah, my name's Diana. My company is called Innovis Techne. I've been in technology for probably 30 years or so. Yeah, and I help organizations, small, medium, from a perspective of understanding how to partner with tech successfully. I was in corporate for a long time, started my own organization, and part of that is to help organizations understand how they can leverage their business capabilities and decide what they're looking for in regards to tech, and especially today in AI. That's even more important. I'm also on advisories for boards. I'm involved in standards and policy creation here in Canada. So there's something called the General Governance Council. So we have an entity that's private and public, sorry, looking from a perspective of how can we help organizations understand what they need to do from a tech perspective. So excited to be here and meet everybody. And hopefully financial isn't the criteria for being here because I think I fail if I do.
You are not failing. You are succeeding. It is, there will be others in other
Awesome.
industries, probably
Awesome.
right up next. So take it away, whoever is willing and eager to go.
Yeah, I can jump in here if that's okay. First of all, nice to see you, Abby, Gary, Thomas as well, some familiar faces. I'm Kenny, and my company is Atlas Studios. And so, primarily, what we specialize in are three things, right? Mainly branding, marketing, and development. That could be like on the practical side, developing strategies, mainly growth oriented, or on the technical side, implementing different platforms, right? Whether you need a website built, an app, payment portals, you name it, we essentially do it. So, if you can imagine it, we'll do the rest.
Welcome back,
You
Kenny.
said that before, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the very least, every Thursday at 7 p.m. for the last 3 months.
Oh
Pretty
yeah,
much.
it's taking some work within the
Yeah.
group for sure.
Amazing. All right. Who's up?
Well, I've definitely got a less practiced pitch, but my name's Thomas. I'm based out of Oregon. and Jesus, almost a year ago now, started up a market, I'll call it a marketing agency that has been trying to find its footing, and I think finally found it in the last few months. Um, but we do advertising and infrastructure installment for local contractors here in Oregon and Washington. So helping with kind of lead follow-up, lead generation, and CRM management, all through meta ads. Um, just trying to bring AI automation to the contractor field at an affordable rate, and yeah, helping close jobs. So um, still kind of in the growth stage, trying to figure out, where everything's going to land, but growing slowly and trying to learn new stuff every day.
We're glad to see you back, Thomas.
Yeah, it's been a busy few months.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, let's keep it going. Who's next?
Oh, Hi. If you are a mom or a woman who has anxiety when it comes down to your business and have the cycle of continuously starting or have the shiny object syndrome, I am here to assist you to step into your new identity that will allow you to live your dreams by analyzing where you are now and what you need to be to bridge that to have a successful business. My name is Denise, and I'm from Spring Hill, Florida, and I'm a proud mom of two kids.
Twins, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen. Amazing. All right, who's up?
You're gonna
Andrew, it's gonna be you.
Yep, I was actually about to jump in.
Yep.
I heard twins, and that's my cue. For those who don't know, I'm an identical twin. But anyway, uh, Diana, close your ears. I'm another financial professional. Um, I work with a lot of people in real estate and more and more engineers recently to help them minimize their tax liabilities and really specialize in holistic financial planning so that people can figure out where they are right now and the most efficient way to get where they want to be. So that's what I do, and I'm in Chicago.
Awesome. Very straightforward too. I like that. Nate?
What's up, everybody? My name is Nate Dubois. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm the founder of Legend Initiative. We help shape reputation and lead brands to transcend culture. So, if you want to become a legend in industry, we're the team you work with.
That changed a little bit. Just like that much.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I was off for a week and then really like a week.
Sometimes I forget the original, so I just mix it up. I
That's
always
okay.
change
There's
it from
life in it.
something.
Yeah. Drop your links in the chat. I'm Abigail, your host, and really kicking off a website Kenny's team made for me. So yep, I will drop the link in the chat. It's a community membership for new entrepreneurs where we are combining financial masterclasses, business development, weekly collaborative co-working sessions, and yoga and meditation to keep you all in balance. Couple other things. I'll share my calendar app if you'd like to book a one-on-one. And we have a Discord channel, which I don't usually mention this, but I do feel like it is worth mentioning that it is best on an app on your phone. So I'll drop the link for that in here as well. But I do feel like we get a lot of people each week that sign up for it and then we don't really hear from them again. And I'm wondering if it's because they're accessing it via the web. Um, so in the month of March, and what we usually do is host a discussion on um, all things business, really. And we've been talking about not necessarily the book directly, but the topic is grit. And there is a book called Grit, which is available for free on YouTube to listen, but also Audible and however else you listen. Um, and I'm going to read the question that I sent to the Discord so that I get it right. Um, so I wanted to talk about how or why we found our passion. And then once we've landed in our niche, how is it that we expose our expertise to our prospects or our ongoing clients? And I'll drop that in the chat if anybody wants to kick us off. That would be great.
I could start off.
Yeah.
Um, so what got me to where I am right now, I consider myself a serial entrepreneur. My family had a construction business when I was 6. Well, technically I was born, and my dad had a construction company, but the first time I started working in the construction company, I was at 6 years old. My family truly believed that it was a family company. That was it. Like we lived and breathed the company. So from there, it was a series of different companies that I even started myself, sold a few, and I didn't have a work-life balance. That didn't exist in my life because my parents never thought that was a thing either. So for me, it was work 24/7, and that's my normal. It was my comfort zone. So as soon as I had kids, um, I was told multiple times that because I had kids, I can no longer work as I did, and that I will have to like let go of my dreams and let go of who I want to become. And I just thought that that was stupid. So it was more of like, why am I being told this? And I got frustrated because I felt like I was getting lost. And I had to, like, I was almost like dying in a way. Like, I had to kill my old self. And I was like, I refuse to do that. So it came about of how can a mom continue living a life where they feel fulfilled and not have to completely let go of absolutely everything. So my old self and my new self combined to basically create a life for a mom then rather than doing 24/7 work and have no boundaries at all with work, it's more of how can we fit work around your family life, but you still are able to succeed, still able to follow your desires and not feel like you're failing or you're a bad mom or hear all the crap that everybody says of, you have to choose or if not, you're a bad mom, which once again, I think is stupid. So from there, it was more of like, moms shouldn't be giving up on themselves. And they are the mirror or the reflections to their kids. So you need to be an example. So how about we get you up and running? So the passion of me trying to be the best mom that I can for my kids and my old self was just more of like, how can I make this happen? Therefore, I decided to do life coaching and business coaching for as many moms as I can.
I love that. It's got me thinking. The to raise your hand if you want to share, which does seem to work best. Um, I think you just click on the react button and then it will offer up like a raise hand button. Gary.
So first of all, my hat's off to you for doing your best not to lose yourself in kids because that's a hard thing to do. I've definitely lost myself at points in the kid journey. Um, so finance is not the passion per se. It's the pursuit of personal freedom and helping other people pursue personal freedom. Um, that's really the thing that I love. Um, when I was young and I was a soldier, I was very patriotic and still am very much about personal freedom and building my own financial world and empire. It was all about, I think it was Frank Sinatra who said, I want to have enough money that I can tell anybody that I want to F off and still keep going and be fine. And that's just a brand of personal freedom that I subscribe to. And it's not necessarily that I can tell anybody to F off. It's just that you have the resources to make choice. And when you don't have finances in place, those choices are very limited. So that's where finance came in for me. Is it's a tool for freedom, for personal freedom, which is what I'm passionate about.
Love that. I just want to, before Kenny, this topic of grit that we've been on in April, I know we missed last week, but I feel like for those who are returning, I've learned so much about you as individuals because of the types of questions that are coming up. And I think it's just a beautiful thing. Kenny.
I really love this topic. So for those of you guys who have heard my story, um, for a good amount of time in my childhood, I was homeless, right? And my dad taught me a lot of things about entrepreneurship, financial literacy, but there's an extra layer to that story, um, just about the kind of role model that my dad was growing up, right? So my dad was an idea guy, right? He had a whole bunch of ideas for inventions. At one point, he tried to make an alternative to like vitamin water, right? An energy drink. He tried to make a booster seat for kids with extra fastening that was like ergonomic design, more comfortable. Uh, so it was a lot of trial and error, right? So watching him actually like draw these up and bring these to investors and coming back home in his suit, maybe a little bit dirty at times. Um, it was kind of endearing, right? And it showed me like, okay, like even though his first idea didn't work out, he kept going. Even though the second or third or the fourth or the fifth didn't work out, he still kept going, right? And so growing up, that really inspired me. Like once I found like I didn't hit me until college, really, what I was passionate about, which is marketing, right? Because I was like, I've always been a people person. I'm very conversational, but how can I use that background and honor what my dad taught me in a way that still feels natural to myself, right? And so just moving forward with that, um, first, I should say that I flunked out of school my first semester. I literally got kicked out. And I remember writing my appeal letter to the dean, mentioning that specifically, right? Like, hey, like if my dad found out, like he'll kick my ass, you know, because it would feel like, at least to me, it would feel like I'm kicking dirt on everything that he worked so hard to instill in me, right? Um, so long story short, I was accepted back in. I took my studies seriously, got my degree, and today I have a moderately fruitful career in business development, But again, it's it's all credit to my dad and just watching him fail over and over again. Even though it was different ideas, it kind of taught me like even if you stick to one thing, right, which is kind of what I did. I have a one-track mind in that way. Um, but you can still do it, right? Even if you have to pivot, even if you have to struggle, even if you have to fail over and over again and fall flat on your face, as long as you get back up, you give it another try, that could be, the effort that actually gets it done at the end of the day and propels you ever forward to your real goal and your vision.
How would you attribute that initial failure to where you are now?
Oh, I would say every failure was extremely educational. Right? Even like I said, flunking out of school, it was like, okay, so is this how I imagined I would be exerting my knowledge or like the stuff that I know I can do, right? Like I know I'm not living up to my potential, right? So let me actually learn from that and write that appeal letter, get back into school, apply myself, and then obviously I didn't, have the most exceptional grades, but still, we got there at the end of the day. And after that, I kind of used that to mold my work ethic, right? I know a lot of you guys are, I would say we talk about burnout a lot in this group. And I went through that phase where I would just work day and night. A new project came in, I was like, yeah, I can handle that, right? Because I feel like if I didn't just jump on it right away, I would be regressing or like taking steps back. Um, and so that's one thing that I attribute to my failures, but also to this group is that you guys taught me how to slow down. kind of, work through that, take a break, and then get right back to it with new ideas, new angles, and, new solutions. So
I
I'll pass it back to whoever
yeah.
would like to go next.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the helm for a second here and I'm gonna try not to go in a million directions. But what will be, I suppose. So I lost a really big client yesterday. It was devastating and I cried hysterically and it was all my fault. And I admitted it to the client. I had a serious attitude problem with their CPA on tax day 2026. It's been an ongoing problem, my attitude towards their CPA for about 2 years now. Um, and I take accountability for my own actions. I do think that their behavior warranted some attitude, but either way, the bottom line is attitude towards people is a sign of burnout. And I was unable to control my reaction in this situation because I was so sick of long-term problems I had been having with these people. Um, I left the meeting, great relationship with the client still, and it's not like a door slamming in the face. It's like we're all sad to be parting. However, as I'm hysterically driving home because I'm so upset about it's not even the money, it's the client relationship. I'm like, I know I'm like so deep in the shit right now that I can't see through it, but I always know there's a silver lining in it. And this morning I had a meeting with a marketing coach, and I didn't mention this, but I do, and most of you know this, I do one-on-one accounting, full charge accounting, CFO level stuff. And I've been doing it for this is my 11th year in business as a entrepreneur. Um, and I'm like, I woke up this morning, I felt a lot better. Clients come and go. Some clients it's really devastating when they go. Other clients it's like good riddance. This was kind of one of those clients where the person I had a great relationship with, the way he did business, he's much older than I am. So his style of running his business is not the same as I would prefer. It's a lot of paper, a lot of in-person meetings. It's an hour and a half drive from my rural Maine home one way. Um, but I liked the client and he had a big business and it kept me busy. And his CPA would go behind my back, make a lot of changes, and then turn it around on me like I've done everything wrong. So it really was just not aligned. I just liked the guy a lot. Anyway, woke up this morning as we're talking about grit. I'm thinking about, I'm making a hard pivot to this online platform. And I'm like, all right, the sun is out. I can think clearly again. What is my passion? Why did I start doing this? Like, what is it that I love? I went for a hike and I'm like, I really love when I can't sleep at night because a prospect came to me with a really great business idea and I just want to fucking support them until like my eyes are bleeding. Or like teaching people how to understand their finances so that when, if they're making 100K a year, they know how to do it themselves. But when they're making 1 million a year and they're hiring somebody else, they're making educated, strategic decisions based on stuff they already know and they've grown. And I'm like, this is like the opening in my schedule. 3 hours of driving, 2 hours of client meeting. This is the opening in my schedule to go all in on this platform that I've been building and pouring boatloads of money into. And it's like, it's time for this to happen. So, like, pivot the attitude, pivot the burnout, pivot all of it. And that brings me back. The reason I raised my hand to begin with was Denise. A lot of my team for my one-on-one is moms, a lot of them. And I typically hire a mom with an accounting degree, but a mom who's like, one of my team members is out right now. She's just had her seventh child. She homeschools all of them. And I wanted to have kids of my own. So it was my intention to build the type of business where I didn't have to go to clients. I'm not, and I'm like, I hate having clutter and paper. So like those types of things are just not aligned with the type of business I want to run. So teaching these women who have just graduated at 30 years old with a bachelor's degree how to do bookkeeping and ultimately real accounting, like it gives them opportunity to raise their kids, stay in bed and work from bed when they just had a baby 3 days ago. Like that literally happened. Um, and I'm just thinking, like, these are the things. This is the alignment. These are all the little things, the silver lining that I knew would appear today, why I need to go all in on this platform. So there's the passion, the purpose, the how, the why, the burnout, all of the things. Anyway, Diana.
Thanks. Actually, that was very inspirational, Abigail. Thank you for sharing that. That was really amazing. Um, my company is named Inibis Techne. It's actually Greek and Latin, which means changing experiences. So after high school, I was an exchange student. Came from a very small town, went to Denmark for a year. That was a huge shift. Learned a lot about myself, learned that I could rely on myself, that I had a backbone. And probably had I not had that experience, I probably wouldn't be living where I am today, doing the things that I'm doing today. So I think it was when you talk about those pivotal moments, it was really huge. Early in my career, I experienced, I'll say a lot of burnout, not just myself and people and organizations, also a lot of disrespect. I'm in the tech industry. It's not uncommon for us to be expected to work 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, maybe a weekend. And I see people lose jobs a lot, a lot. I decided to make a difference, so I decided to get into leadership so I could actually help change that. So when I moved into a manager role, I moved into some of the roles that I had, if you take a look at my LinkedIn, to help make a difference. Because part of that is, and I totally recognize and resonate with the burnout. I am an A-type personality. I'm okay, but what I realized in my career in leading people, not everybody's an A. Some people are a B and a C and a D and an E and an F and a G and an H and I, J, K, L, M, and a P. And as leaders, if we really want to have people bring their best to the table, we need to recognize that. So I've done a lot of work for that. And one of the things I've been known in my career is to stand up for my staff. I have, I would use the word, I've left some organizations because I can't do that effectively. But the thing that really grounds me in what I do, because I wanted to talk about the burnout side, everyone has to recognize how much they can give and how much they need to recover. And I think that's really important. And I know I'm not, my first time here won't be my last because I really enjoy the things that are going on. But burnout is prolific in organizations today. And how do we balance it? How do we say no? How do we say no and not lose our job? And I think many people get into entrepreneurship and into their own company because if we're going to burn out, we're going to say no, it's because we say no, not because somebody else says no. We have that control over it. So I think when we take a look at how we relate our passion to our customers, what I do is I talk about what are we going to change? What are we going to improve? What are we going to make better? Mine's more tactical in a perspective of performance and capabilities and that type of stuff. But for that to happen, we have people. Because things, as much as people think today AI is going to solve everything and we don't need people and it's going to replace all these jobs, people who have no idea about tech are the ones who are saying that. The reality is in tech, we actually need people. We need people who are critically thinking. We need people who have institutional knowledge. We need people who are juniors in learning so they can actually eventually become intermediate and seniors. And so helping to create that message and that change experience, whatever that is for an organization, as we look at emerging tech, as we look at culture, in organization. That's my passion, is to help them understand that to be successful isn't myopic. It isn't just today this. It's really they need to understand their whole organization in order to change. And that to me is something I think is a gem, because most organizations don't recognize that. They see an opportunity, and for those who are in finance, uh, the bottom line, we're going to reduce staff and reduce costs, but the bottom line is you really often don't if you don't really understand what you're doing.
That was excellent. John Michael.
Yeah, and man, I appreciate all you guys sharing y'all stories. I feel like I can, uh, take a piece of everything you guys said and apply it to my own story, just like Kenneth going through, college, and Gary, with your why. It's powerful. Starting out, I know the question is, how did you find your passion in this? Didn't start out in this kind of passion. Went to college, was always involved in sports, and always had a passion for it, and wanted to go into sports commentary. Love people, love talking, just like you, Kenneth, and once I decided to come back home, uh, my fiance, she's a labor and delivery nurse, and she just makes an insane amount of impact in the area. And she sat me down and she said, "John Michael, I think you're destined to do more and destined to impact the community." And that was incredibly powerful. So I decided to venture out, and take a leap of faith, and go into, the financial services industry. And I, understand that where I'm from, it's, small East Texas town, and there's not a lot of people that, for one, value financial services, but two, just don't have that financial literacy. They just don't understand it, and I've decided to make it you know, my choice to help all of them out. But it, of course, has been a struggle. Being 25 years old and going into an industry where you don't see the work you do now, you see it in 3 years, which I think a lot of you guys can agree to, being business owners. A lot of my friends who got college degrees and, started their jobs and are making, let's say, that 60, 70, 80K salary. And they go to me and they go, "Man, what are you doing?" I won't lie to you guys. I made a little over 20,000 in a year last year. And man, it's difficult. It's so hard starting your own business. And knowing that, the people around you are, quote unquote, making more, which means that you're more successful. And I had to sit down and say, no, 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 no. That's not true. Um, I realized that I've grown more, going down this hard path than my fellow peers. Um, you know, I try my best to seek out mentors, and they've told me, "Hey, your wife, future wife, is making basically all the income. And I mean, we're going through a wedding right now. Things are going nuts. And I have the monkey on my back that I'm not, quote unquote, providing." And I've been able to learn that there's other ways that you can provide that's not financial, whether it's mental, whether it's spiritual, whether it's, being able to connect in a way that, it doesn't involve finances, and finances will come eventually, is what I told myself. And I'm a firm believer in it. But the burnout is so real. I mean, waking up at 6 in the morning, going to bed at 10 o'clock and working, the entire time, having multiple meetings and ultimately seeing none of the result. And I've learned the skill of having delayed gratification. And I think that's a skill that a lot of people my age who are entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general starting out have got to have. But my why, a lot of what Gary had mentioned, my mom, who is a single mom, by the way, is where I can relate to Denise, and she, no matter what, had to provide for three kids by herself, but she was always at my sporting events. And there's just something about having that type of role model in your life, sacrificing her time to go to your event. And so, a big reason why I am sticking with this career is one, the financial stability, financial flexibility, and getting to dictate what you get to do. I plan on having a lot of kids, and going to all of their events, and I want to be the parent that's present. And so, that's my big why. But man, it's been a struggle. Kenny, I struggled at school too. I flunked out my first go around. Got into a job at Texas Roadhouse as a waiter. I had long hair, super confident, and that was the death of me because I neglected going to school, like going to class. I was getting a lot of money and spending it the way you probably shouldn't be spending it, and eventually flunked out and realized that that instant money really hurt what really mattered. And so those are lessons that I've been able to take with me today. And so, man, going through this journey, I understand that the importance and the valuation of getting connected with people just like all you guys who are all across the country who have lessons to tell and starting their own business. And I mean, Diana, I'm sure you have a lot of experience you had mentioned, and I get to take this time to gain that from you. So that's a little bit about my why, my passion, and navigating through that burnout.
I mentioned it in the comments, but definitely connect with Gary. He's got he's definitely got some experience in that working long hours with little to see in the early days, but I know he's come a long way in the last 6, 8 months, Gary.
Yeah.
So definitely make time to talk to him, even if it's like a half hour. Um,
Oh, Abby, I'm sorry. I don't want to
yeah.
interrupt, but I'm saying, just to throw my 2 cents. I really resonate with your story, man. So if you find my info in the chat, let's definitely, find some time to chop it up for sure.
Absolutely. Sounds good, man.
Denise.
I honestly do love coming over here because it's just like everybody is, I don't know, I say like family. It's like, oh, hugs. That's kind of cute. But what I was gonna say is, John, kudos to you. Like it's beautiful what you're doing. And starting as an entrepreneur, it's not something for the weak-hearted. It's not something for somebody that's going to be like, oh, I'm gonna make $1 million right away. There's a lot of grits and a lot of work that you're gonna have to do from the beginning. But like May said, it compounds. You just have to keep going at it and keep going at it. Eventually, like it's almost like pushing a rock up a hill. It is hard, but when you start getting the momentum and you finally get up that hill, when it drops, you don't have to push anymore. Like it is just all the work is done. Um, so just keep at it. Like, yeah, it's exhausting, but yeah, have it. But I was thinking when we're talking about like resistance and talking about burnout, one of the things that like when I'm talking to my clients is mostly because they're not aligned with their whys. They're not they're trying to either find something that will give them quick money because they think that money is going to fix all their problems, or they get into a job and they'll be like, or get into a business and they're like, why is it not working for me? Like I decide to give up, and just that cycle of starting over and over again because they're not aligned with what is their actual why. They don't know what their why is. And some people don't even know how to find their whys, which is one of the things that I'm like, okay, here's 3 steps of how to start, like how to even find your why. And that resistance is, I would say, about 85% of why people burn out because they're consistently just fighting with themselves to try to make something work that is not going to work. And even for entrepreneurs, like for you to do things, for it to fail and then do it again and then fail again and be like, where am I going at? That is a learning lesson, yes, because every failure is data, but also not knowing your why is gonna cost you a lot. So I see that all of us here are blessed to finally find our why, or if you found it right away, even more blessing. But it's that why it is the most important because when things get really rough and you have no energy in you, but that why is more powerful than you, that's what gives you that extra energy to continue going because you know for a fact that this why is definitely not going anywhere. That's the literally the battery that continues going and never ends. So
I wrote some notes down while Diana was speaking. Um, a couple things that have like I've kind of known I've been burnt out. I had kind of assumed that it was like personal stuff that I had gone through in the last few years that had just taken my spark away. Um, and so, I've been going on these trips and I've been traveling a lot. I just booked another trip a couple weeks ago. Just kind of like soul searching in a way and like literally looking all over the world for like the passion again. And, not really knowing where to look, but knowing that I'm just not feeling fulfilled by my work anymore, stuff that used to fulfill me. And like, to be honest, a lot of my clients have been with me for 8 years, which I am so grateful for. It's not that I'm not grateful for it, it's just that it's become so routine with them that and they're well underway, and like the development part is like not so much needed from me anymore. So I've been like, how do I find my spark again? So I've been doing all these trips, I've been traveling, I've been doing all these crazy things. If you follow my social media at all, like you'll see quite a bit of it. Um, and but it hasn't I haven't found it in this like thrill-seeking behavior or rest. Rest has not solved the problem for burnout. I can sleep all day. I do not feel any more inspired to get up and go take care of my business when I'm well rested. It has nothing to do with rest. It has nothing to do with chasing thrills. It has nothing really like, yeah, going to the gym and the routine, like that helps keep me going. But it was losing that client that I mean, I was sobbing hysterically, but I'm like, I know that in this moment, like my faith is really important to me. And it just like every time something like this happens, I lean on my faith and I just know that the moment will come. And another note that I wrote was like, throughout these last 5 years, I've been wondering what happened to the type A version of me, like the control freak that needs every I dotted and T crossed. And like, yeah, I was like a little bit like that with the CPA, like they were doing things in a different procedure than we've ever done them before in the past. And that's kind of why I got a little neurotic and aggressive with them. But like at the end of the day, it was more like, it was less about being type A and more about just being tired of their shit. And So losing the client was that pivot moment where I'm like feeling that spark again. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like working with clients that have been in business for 30 plus years. Like, yeah, it's good money, but like that's not the fun part. The fun part is like helping someone build their dream, helping the mom that is like, we had someone in this group a couple weeks ago that has this snack idea. I don't know if you guys remember. She was talking about her child had all these allergies and all these problems and like her reason was because like food was poisoning her kid and like helping someone like that with passion and excitement launch something is so rewarding and teaching them how to like do it well, do it strategically and like ultimately, bring a little bit of tax politics. Why not after tax day? Like, fuck giving your money to the government. And like, if you learn that from the beginning and you learn how to avoid doing that and keep your money in your business and keep your money in your pocket, like, that's where the reward is for me. And when I see these, like, I see these influencers, especially in the last couple of days, where they're like, doing these crazy posts. I just posted one that's like so unhinged. Like I have to give tens of thousands of dollars so the government can what, like go bomb children in the Middle East? And it's like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. But like, had they taken, and maybe that, there's still time. I mean, there isn't time for last year per se, but if they had taken a few moments and said, shit, I'm starting to make like good money. I should reach out to somebody and learn a thing or two about how to plan, how to use this money, how to do it correctly. They wouldn't need to do that. And like that's true for any 1099 income earner, learning how to keep your money and not give it to them. Like that's what lights me up too. If I'm working with a client that's been in business for 30 years, they're like, they don't want that information from me. They're like, yeah, 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 I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going to take a bonus for $150,000 in December. Like, that's cool, especially when you're having conversations with startup entrepreneurs, knowing that, my 30-year veterans are taking six-figure bonuses once a year. Like, but teaching them that early on is so much more rewarding than cutting that six-figure check to the guy. And so I'm hiking up this trail today, and my one of my coaches like, you got to start talking more on your social media. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But then I'm looking at these posts, I'm like, these are the things, these are the whys that get me excited. And like, I already feel more alive just because that CPA pissed me off so badly yesterday. It's not my trip to Rome in 2 weeks that I'm doing alone and I'm super excited about a life-changing opportunity. That's not going to be a drop in the bucket compared to losing multiple thousands of dollars a month. So that's what I wanted to share. Andrew.
Well, I just wanted to kind of come on and say, I love the stories that we're all telling and learning about each other. I think it's really good display of kind of perseverance and the grit and how things are, rewarding. You got to face the ups and the downs to know your why and to feel the meaning in what you're doing. And I actually had a similar story to John Michael, where in college I really thought I wanted to work in sports. My dad had worked in sports, and I really thought that was my calling. And spent a lot of my college career doing internships, work opportunities, and positioning myself for success there. And whole senior year was applying to all these different jobs and wasn't really getting any traction, and was kind of just stuck on why is this not working for me. Seeing people who I thought hadn't put in as much time and effort getting these positions, and knowing people, and so that was really difficult for me. But it made me realize that as much as I love the sports, as much as I love that atmosphere, and the relationships that you build with people in that line of work, it wasn't my why. It wasn't what I was passionate about. I just enjoyed it. It was more of a hobby. And so it took those, long hours of working in sports and all those, applications and interview rejections to figure that out. And really, I'm grateful for that every day now because I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. And, everyone here in the financial space knows it's not a cakewalk. It takes a lot of time, a lot of paying your dues, and a lot of slow first couple of years. But I know that I was able to kind of persevere through that in college, and it helped me figure out that I'm now where I'm supposed to be, and having that experience makes me feel like I'm well positioned here to kind of fight through the first tough couple years. But it's I really have enjoyed hearing the stories, the ups and downs, the losing the big client and having to rediscover what is important to you, how to get that spark back. And so that's a little bit my personal anecdote. But I've really enjoyed the stories. It's been good to kind of get to know another piece of everyone here today.
I was just about to type, Andrew, it's been really great watching you come out of your shell the last couple of weeks since you've been showing up. So every time you share, it's like really awesome. And I'm seeing like just your confidence in like speaking has already exponentially grown. It's been great. Gary.
So definitely connect with me. Um, my little town in Washington State is 1,200 people, and I think the Greater Valley maybe has 5,000 people in it. So it's been a very long uphill battle to figure out how to make financial services work in a very poor farming community. I'd love to connect and just swap stories. Um, I just hired a new um, coach consultant today to kind of help me walk through some of the things I'm struggling with. But yeah, definitely connect. And yeah, I've always found that burnout for me is a misalignment. It's a misalignment of what I'm doing with some aspect of who I am. And I get burned out when I'm not moving in a direction that my spirit or soul wants to move in. And so it's always a realignment of what that is. And I find that changes about every 5 years or so. There's some kind of shift where you've mastered what you're doing and it's time to make some type of a shift. The underlying person is still the same, but there's some shifts in who and what you are. But and I was not the sports guy. Um, I actually wanted to be a swordsmith when I was a kid. I made my first sword, I think, when I was 14. I just couldn't sell them, so we joined the army instead.
It's amazing, Gary. Just a little
Gary,
side
we're
snippet. One of my friends made some throwing daggers for me and my other friend and like metal smithing in his garage and I was throwing it. This is so much information about me. I was throwing it at a tree in my yard last summer and I missed and I just found it because the snow is finally
Nice,
gone and I was cleaning up my garden and I'll send a picture of it in the group chat.
nice.
Oh,
Yep.
really amazing. Kenny.
wait, Gary,
Gary.
where in Washington are you?
Oh, sorry, Thomas.
Sorry, yeah, quick. Gary, where are you in Washington?
I'm in Orville. It's right up against the Canadian border, um, 2.5 hours north of Wenatchee.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Cool. Sorry, go ahead, Kenny.
All right, cool. So, Gary, I just want to say I really appreciate you sharing that because for a good amount of time, as a teenager, I was really all in on becoming a rapper. I actually signed up for like auditions and stuff and like getting in front of producers, and it was a whole process, right? Um, and so in that time, I kind of had to think to myself, right? Like, is this really what I want to do, or is it just something I think is really cool, right?
Hmm.
So again, that's one of those moments where it's really pivotal, right? And you feel like you might have to shift in a different direction. Um, but over time, I still write from time to time. You know, it's become more of a hobby. Um,
Nice.
but what I'm really passionate about is definitely what I'm doing now, for sure. Um, and Abby, I'm really glad that you brought up Tiffany as an example because I actually had the chance to connect with her over a coffee chat, and hear the rest of the story about her daughter. And it had me tearing up, you know, and just the fact that she has a cause like that and she's trying to empower not just kids, but families of children with type 1 diabetes. Um, I told her straight up, you know, I would be more than happy to help you, you know. So I'm actually in the process of getting her in touch with like manufacturers, distributors for her packaging, uh, working on her logo, and trying to get her like really prepared to like have a full launch by at least like next year or so.
Nice.
Just talking to the muted. I was wondering if you had had a chop it up session.
Oh yeah, I like to use that phrase a lot. And oh,
Yeah.
that's another thing we connected on because you were like, you say that a lot. I don't think people really understand. It's like a Bronx, New York thing. Um, but yeah, she's awesome. She's really cool.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Marissa.
Yeah, hey guys. I don't know how everyone's doing on time, but I just first off like appreciate everybody's stories. It's very, I think this is the cool part is hearing like real life stuff, not just like the fluff. So just first of all, thank you everyone for your stories. Mine, I wish I could say it was like, I don't even know if I wish I could say it was a cookie cutter like pathway to where I got. A lot of like my growth in my career really came from like hitting a pitfall and then like moving upwards. Kind of where I got into financial planning, it took a bit of a rough patch with my son health wise. I was working retail management for the better half of my entire life. And I've grown pretty well with like connecting with people. Like working retail could be, excuse my French, a little bit of a bitch, but especially when you have a husband who also works retail and kids that have needs, it's not flexible, it's not helpful. And it took unfortunately a downfall in my son's health to kind of pull me away from what I was doing and give me a little bit of a realistic idea of, well, what am I going to do with my life? What do I want to do? And I feel like I kind of got into this having probably the better understanding of what it means to live in a very unpredictable life and knowing that life can be very unpredictable, very you can't plan for it. I don't know, like I don't, I'm not a traditional, financial advisor. I'm like hard, edgy, like you're not going to see me on some, I don't know, financing it website. So I'm a little bit of a different, I bring a little bit of a different, more human approach to it. I'm more realistic, simplify things. Just because I know what it's like I took this approach when I was a manager that like, I know what it's like to start from the bottom. I was never handed anything. I had to work for the things was that I earned, and I know what it's like to have to teach myself things, have to start from brand new. And I had to really dig deep when my son was not only in his own trenches, but I had to lose my job, lose my security, and figure out for myself what I'm going to do. I had to learn something new, teach myself, go to school, and start over. I'm not a stay-at-home mom kind of girl. As much as I was like, let's try it. No, I'm a businesswoman. I like to build connections. I like to work with people. I like to learn new things and learn new things from other people. And I never wanted my kids to look at me and be like, yeah, she just kind of stayed stagnant. I wanted them to be proud of me. But I don't know. I'll get teary-eyed if I keep talking about that. But for me, my why, for sure, my kids, just for the little girl in me that maybe didn't have a say back then. That's my why too. And for me, I can't say like, I didn't go to, I'm not a finance major. I didn't go to college. I went to culinary school. I'm not doing that. Got into a huge accident. Couldn't do that field. And so my life has been all over the place, but I feel like I've always tried to navigate like what matters most. And I feel like getting into this field now is really like, I learned the hard way, unfortunately, what it's like to not have a plan, and what it's like to not have support, not have that guidance. And that's just kind of what I look for, or like what my strive is. It's not like, yeah, of course, everyone wants to make money. Sure, we all got bills to pay, but at the end of the day, it's really like, what purpose can I bring to someone who I've always been a big believer of, like, I didn't really have, I'm a big daddy's girl. I have my dad and that's it. I've got mommy issues and I don't have a whole lot of family. Uh, so I'm a big believer on having someone that's there to support you. And if I can be that support, that value, that's my goal. I want to be that person that I didn't have, if that makes sense. So that's kind of, me in a nutshell. I could rant for days about lots of stuff, but that's me.
Well, you fit right in here because most of us don't quite fit the normal mold.
Well, thank you.
We've talked about this a few times. Tatted, pierced, accountant. I swear a lot,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and I've been talking with my one of my coaches recently. Like, one of the reasons I'm afraid to show up on these talking head reel videos is because of like the way that I speak very directly, swearing, all of that stuff. I'm not polished. But at the end of the day, all my one-on-one clients hire me because of that. I'm not sitting there in another one of, a social media, influencer, not huge following, but just like me. She uses the language like, I'm not your crusty, dusty CPA or finance guy, and people like that, especially when there's so much on social media, like being that I'm preaching this, but I show up horribly. Um, people want to see, they want to see it. They want to see the ugly. They want to see the real life. They want to see the mess.
Would
Uh,
you would you want a client who expected you to be polished all the time? I mean, I say
no, I'd
shit,
probably tell them
shit, fucking
off like I
goddamn it all
did
the
this
time.
CPA
You know,
the other day.
I mean, I went from being a professional killer in the military to being a nurse to heal people, and now I do finance stuff, and I still talk like I'm in the army. Shit, fucking goddamn it, sir.
I have to
Yeah.
say, Abigail, I don't know if anybody's ever been to the, what is it, polarizing networking event. It's an Arabic guy who literally just goes out on everybody, calling them shit and call all of that. But everybody in there loves it. When you are true to yourself and you're authentic, people gravitate to that because everything in social media is like, oh, perfection. Oh, look how beautiful life is. And that's not reality. Reality is not perfect. So when you show up of how you are, you're actually giving that inspiration of somebody like, yes, I like that. I can show up as well like this. I feel comfortable. You will actually attract way more people than trying to be polished because polished, that's all we freaking see all the time. And it's tiring, exhausting. So be you.
It's exhausting. I agree. Um, John
Yeah.
Michael, I'll have you go. Denise, if you wanted to share more, I'll have you go, and then we'll wrap it up for the night.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, I'm about to have to head out. I'm about 2.5 hours away from home, in the office. I come up here Mondays and Thursdays, and I tell people this is the only job I do that for, which is a true testament. But yeah, man, I just want to say this is my first time ever coming here. I absolutely loved it. I loved everything about it. I think we're all very like-minded in that sense. But yeah, I'm about to head out. Really appreciate it. Would love to go to the next one for sure. Yeah, and that's basically it. So,
Awesome.
yes, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Safe
Um,
drive.
I have been, this was recorded as it notified you. Um, and they're on YouTube, all the historical ones, and this will be too. So
Oh.
yeah, you'll be on YouTube. I should probably put that in the description. Our
For
conversations are just
global
too
distribution.
good. Yeah, we just have these great conversations and the world needs to hear it. And I think it's a great way for each of us to, get more exposure. So the link will be actually I can share it right now. I've got it pulled up. But it will be in the email recap tomorrow, and we're here every Thursday at 7 Eastern. If you just want to save the link, you can come right back in. And the Discord, I guess I'm sending as well. So download the app and I sent that picture of the dagger a few minutes ago. So anyway, it was really this has been a great topic this month, and I love hearing all of the personal stories and the real life stories, and I will see you all next week.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yes.
Glad
Thank
you're
you.
feeling
Great
better.
night. Nice
Yeah.
meeting you.
Nice meeting
Nice to meet
everybody.
you too. Nice to meet you too.
Have
Bye,
you
guys. Have a good
Nice seeing
afternoon.
everybody again.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
See you guys next week, Gary.